Every morning, as the sun gently rose over a peaceful town, a humble gardener named Mr. Dara arrived at a beautiful house perched on a hill. He carried a set of old, well-loved tools and wore a faded hat that had seen many seasons. As he walked, he'd smile at the flowers, greeting them as if they were old friends. This magnificent house belonged to Mr. Somnon, a wealthy man whose life was a whirlwind of business and hurry. The house itself was grand and shiny, a testament to his success, but its garden was once a sad, neglected space, dry, dull, and lifeless. In the beginning, Mr. Somnon barely noticed the quiet gardener who came and went with the sun. He was always preoccupied, his mind on meetings and deadlines. Rushing from one important task to the next, blind to the gentle transformation happening right outside his window. Day after day, Mr. Dara worked with a quiet, focused dedication. He moved through the garden like a gentle breeze, watering the thirsty plants, carefully trimming overgrown bushes and whispering soft words of encouragement to the soil itself. "Grow strong," he would murmur to a fragile new sprout, his voice full of hope, and slowly, almost magically, the garden began to respond. Life stirred in the barren earth, vibrant green leaves unfurled, reaching for the sunlight. A symphony of colors erupted as flowers of every hue bloomed, their petals opening like tiny trumpets heralding a new beginning. People passing by the house would often stop in their tracks, their eyes wide with admiration. "Such beauty," they'd exclaim, captivated by the stunning display. Mr. Somnon, in his rare moments of pause, noticed the change to it. The brilliant colors caught his eye, but he remained distant, saying very little, still wrapped up in his own world. One afternoon, the sky turned a dark, ominous gray as menacing clouds gathered overhead. A fierce storm descended upon the town, unleashing its fury. Howling winds and torrential rain battered the beautiful garden, showing no mercy. When the storm finally passed, the scene was one of devastation. Heavy branches lay broken and scattered across the lawn. Delicate flower petals were torn and strewn across the muddy ground. The earth itself was flooded, a swamp where a paradise once stood. Seeing the wreckage, Mr. Somnon's heart filled with anger. "My garden is ruined," he shouted, his voice echoing in the empty house. But the very next morning, while the rain still fell in a gentle drizzle, Mr. Dara arrived. He didn't hesitate for a moment. With careful, practiced hands, he began the painstaking work of restoration, gently lifting fallen plants, clearing away debris, mending the sodden soil, and tenderly tying up broken branches, breathing life back into the wounded garden. From his window, Mr. Somnon watched the dedicated gardener work, a silent observer to this act of unwavering care. Days turned into weeks, and under Mr. Dara's patient guidance, the garden began to heal. The signs of the storm faded, replaced once again by flourishing life. Mr. Dara worked with a serene smile on his face, his movements calm and purposeful. Good things take time, he'd say to anyone who would listen, his words a simple but profound truth. One bright morning, as Mr. Dara was tending to a rose bush, Mr. Somning finally broke his long silence. He stepped out into the garden, a place he had admired only from a distance, and spoke with a newfound kindness in his voice. "You work very hard," he said, his words simple but sincere. Mr. Dara paused his work and bowed respectfully. "The garden gives back when we care for it," he replied, his gaze warm and steady. In that quiet moment, something shifted in Mr. Somning's heart. He felt a flicker of understanding, a realization that there was more to life than the cold, hard facts of business. From that day forward, a change began. Mr. Somnon started joining the gardener in the cool, misty mornings. He left his busy schedule behind for an hour each day to step into the world of green and soil. "Teach me," he asked, his tone humble and eager. Mr. Dara, with his gentle smile, became a teacher. He showed the wealthy house owner the simple, profound arts of the garden. How to plant a tiny seed with hope, how to water a plant without drowning its roots, and, most importantly, how to listen to and respect the rhythms of nature. They worked side by side, their hands in the same earth. They shared stories, they laughed, and they built a friendship among the flowers. And as they worked together, the garden thrived like never before, growing more vibrant, more lush, and more breathtakingly beautiful than ever. It was as if the garden could feel their shared joy. Before long, Mr. Somnung had a new idea. He decided that this beauty was too great to keep to himself. He opened his gates, inviting neighbors and local children to share in the magic of the garden. The once quiet, imposing estate was transformed. The joyful laughter of children playing hide and seek among the flowers now filled the air. Elderly neighbors found peaceful spots to rest on benches under the shade of blossoming trees. The house, once a symbol of cold, isolated wealth, became a warm and welcoming hub of community, filled with life and connection. As he watched all of this, Mr. Somning had a profound realization. He turned to Mr. Dara one day, his eyes filled with a new light. "This garden," he said, "it is not just plants and flowers, it is happiness." One sunny afternoon, as they sat together admiring their handiwork, Mr. Somnung looked at the gardener with deep gratitude. "You are not just my gardener, Mr. Dara," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You are my teacher." He not only increased Mr. Dara's pay significantly, but he began to treat him with the deep respect one gives a mentor and a friend. He thanked him not just for the beautiful garden, but for the invaluable lessons he had taught him about life itself. Mr. Dara simply smiled, his humility as constant as the rising sun. "Kindness is the best reward," he replied softly, his words echoing the simple wisdom he lived by every day. His true payment was not in money, but in seeing the seeds of kindness and connection bloom in the heart of another. Years passed. The garden on the hill remained a stunning oasis of beauty, a landmark in the town. But the most significant transformation was not in the soil, but in the soul of the house owner. Mr. Somnon became a kinder, wiser, and more generous man, his wealth now measured in smiles and shared moments rather than in figures on a spreadsheet. Visitors would often come to the garden, mesmerized by its splendor, and they would always ask the same question: what is the secret of this magnificent garden? Mr. Somnon would always smile, his gaze drifting towards Mr. Dara, who would be quietly working nearby, and he would answer with the wisdom he had learned. The secret, he'd say, is simple. It's hard work, patience, and most of all, respect for all living things. He had learned that true wealth isn't something you own, it's something you grow and share with others. Thank you for watching this story. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next video.